Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Lemon Live at 5. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for this live stream. Man, 2 a day, a lot of work. And we have been preparing a lot of things for you. And also, there's so much news to talk about. We really have to whittle it down because we don't know what what exactly we're gonna be discussing here. And is this a live feed that I'm looking at, Andy?
Yes,
I'm not sure.
it is.
Okay, so there's a live feed. Oh, what is this? See, that's what I mean. Donald Trump is having a rally. I think is that he's going. Is this part of his affordability tour that we're looking at right now?
Yes.
So
Yes,
this
it
is
is.
Donald Trump live. Where is this live picture from?
Kentucky.
Okay, so here, thank you guys. So here's the deal. He's on a road trip right now, trying to tout this affordability, trying to get the message across that Republicans are the party. The Republican Party is the party of affordability, even though that was Zoran Mamdani's thing, who is a very left-leaning liberal Democrat. And so at first Donald Trump said, "Oh, it was a fake, it was phony, it wasn't real." And then looks like someone passed out. Let's listen. Can you turn it up a little, Andy? Is that loud as it goes?
That's as loud as it goes.
Okay, so it turns out to be a real thing, the affordability thing, when they saw the polling on it. But this is in Kentucky. Donald Trump is having a rally, and someone has passed out in the crowd, and you see them there fanning. I just want to see what happens. I don't know. Since we have it and we're live, we may as well take it and see what's up. No, I can't see who they're fanning. There are a couple of people there below the bunting and the banner. Okay.
Want to play a song?
Why would you say that?
Do you think the people backstage are listening to me? How about Ave Maria? Well, because is going to be okay. How about putting it in right now, Ave Maria, if they are listening? Ave Maria by Pavarotti.
Okay, so Donald Trump has asked them to play a song, which is bizarre. I'll tell you, I witnessed an incident like this, and I'll tell you, this is for Barack Obama, and it was handled much. I know this is a song for funerals. Thank you for whoever reminding us in the comments. But if you're wondering, why are they here? And there's a woman. Okay. So behind the teleprompter there, you see they call it a presidential teleprompter because it's glass and you can see through it. This lady in the black shirt passed out at a Trump rally in Kentucky because they load these people in early. Some of them allegedly, they pay to do this. And some of them obviously are there on their own accord. But he asked them to play Ave Maria, which is a song that they play at funerals, and it's played a lot in the Catholic Church, having grown up going to Catholic school.
Take your time, Doctor. Take your time.
And there's Dr.
Great.
Oz.
She looks good.
You see Dr. Oz there. And so again, if you're watching this, you're like, why is Don Lemon showing this Trump rally? Because now I'm just being nosy, kind of. Now I just want to know what happened. So thank you very much for In the Flow Brooklyn for your memberships. I really appreciate it. Because of your generosity, 20 people get to become members of the Lemon Nation. So welcome to all of our new members. They're taking this woman out. But we were just going to show you the live feed. And then we found out that this woman had
Dr.
passed
Oz.
out.
Can you believe it?
And Dr. Oz is there and helped her.
Dr. Oz.
Good luck with that, because Dr. Oz
good
hasn't
doctor.
practiced medicine in who knows how long.
Thank you, Oz.
I'm just saying. And so he'll continue on. Again, this is supposed to be his affordability tour, which is turned into if you have doctors on your staff like Dr. Oz, shouldn't they advise you like, hey, you need to have some of these people shouldn't be standing there, especially if they're, people who may have issues like that. But you never know in crowds what happens. So I'll tell you about the time that I did, the first time that I ever went to and even had sort of heard of Barack Obama was when I moved to Chicago in 2003, and Barack Obama was running for senator, and someone in the crowd passed out and he kept talking. I don't know if he realized what was going on. And Michelle Obama went up to the lectern where he was talking and said, "Hold on, Barack, stop." And this woman, someone has passed out, and she made him stop. And then the medical people came and attended to, there was a woman, and took her away, and she was fine. I guess she just dehydration or whatever. But Michelle Obama made sure that the situation was handled properly and with grace. So those things happen. But anyways, there we go. So a lot to talk about as it relates to this administration. Hit the like, hit the thumbs up. Sorry to do that. I don't want to just go to a Trump rally and hear all the lies about everything. I don't think that it is productive. I didn't think it was productive when we were when I was in corporate media, right? Someone said it's staged. I don't believe that particular one was staged, but let me be very clear with you tonight as you hit the like and the thumbs up, because it does affect the algorithm. And welcome to all of our new members, and thank you for gifting the memberships. So let me be very clear with you tonight as you hit the like and you hit the thumbs up and you tell me where you are streaming from, because I like to know, because I'm nosy, okay? So what is happening in Iran right now is not this little excursion. It's not like this little operation. Donald Trump called this a war, a little excursion. A little excursion that was necessary to eliminate some evil is what he says. A little excursion. Over 1,200 people have been killed in Iran, 570 in Lebanon. 7 American service members are dead. Does that sound little to you? And the economy? Oil prices have surged above $100 a barrel due to fears that what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz, that it could remain effectively closed. It's not officially closed, but no one wants to go through it. So basically it's closed because they're worried about their ships being hit and sinking. Someone's sinking their ships. It's effectively closed, roiling, I should say, global financial markets. $100 a barrel. And then Reuters just had the report today that Iran said, hey, get ready, folks. We're not backing down. Oil is soon going to be $200 a barrel. So if it is $100 a barrel now, and then Reuters has it going up to $200 a barrel, and if the average price yesterday was $3.48, and then the average price today is $3.58, so tomorrow, the next day, it will be $3.68, and then 78 cents. And then soon you're creeping into 4, 5, 6, depending on how long this goes. Your gas prices, your grocery bills, your heating costs, all of it going through the roof right now. Going through the roof right now while Donald Trump is out gallivanting around, holding rallies, obviously in arenas that are a bit warm right now. But he's holding court at golf resorts, his golf resort in Doral, Florida, that was there earlier in the week. And then the Pentagon just released a report confirming that it was the United States' fault. New York Times reported it earlier, that it was the United States' fault that we launched a Tomahawk missile at an Iranian elementary school. And that's where 175, 180, the numbers are fluctuate. Some people report 185, some are saying 175. But elementary school, most of them elementary school girls died because of the United States. And really because Donald Trump sent these people into war, him and Pete Hegseth. But here's what keeps me up at night. This is what, sometimes you get up in the middle of the night, you check your phone and worry or whatever, you go into the bathroom. Trump brushed off questions about whether the U.S. would take responsibility for this. He said he hadn't seen the video, and then said he believed that it was Iran. He said, we found out that this was Iran that did it, or another country's Tomahawk missiles. Though Iran is not known to even possess Tomahawk missiles. And if they do have a Tomahawk missile, then they should be worried. And it means they got it from someone. Israel says they don't have any Tomahawk missiles, so who did they get it from? They got it from somebody, so that's problematic. But these reports are saying that it's the U.S. 150 little girls, they say, dead. And then there's staffing and all of that. And this man is floating the idea that Iran bombed its own school with a weapon that they don't even have, that they don't even possess. And the messaging on Monday is that Trump telling CBS that the war was very complete, pretty much. And then that same day, the Defense Department posted, "This is just the beginning. We will not be deterred until the mission is over." So which is it? Which one is it? Why are we in this war? I know the real reason that we're in this war. And they're calling it, what do they call this? Operation Epic Fury. But the folks have named it Operation Epstein Fury because it's a distraction. And why are the people supporting him? Why are those people still there in that crowd today supporting him? When they are the ones that are going to suffer the consequences. If it's mostly working class people, poor people who go into the military. Let's just be honest about that. It is an honor to serve your country. But like Donald Trump, a lot of wealthy people or people with means, they don't do it. And when conscription was a thing, when you were drafted and you had to go, Donald Trump got out of it because he had bone spurs. So the rules are for thee, but not for me. And why are they supporting him? Because of the racism, the bigotry, the misogyny, the denial of January 6th. All of that, the election denial, the racism, anti-vax, all of it. That's why it's happening. Nobody knows what the rationale for this war is, what was, is, will be. Donald Trump doesn't even know. Now, here's what should terrify every single Trump voter watching tonight. This disaster is so profound, so undeniable that it is tearing even MAGA apart from the inside. Not some of the faithfuls. Some of the faithful, there will always be the cult. He'll always have the cult demographic. He'll always have like 28, 20-something to 30s, and he'll always have that. But the people who know that he's grifting and bamboozling because they are grifters and bamboozlers, the folks on the inside, the Megyn Kelly, the Tucker Carlsons, the Joe Rogans, all of those people, they know. They're speaking out against the war, some of them on their own shows. And 7 U.S. personnel dead. Schoolgirls, 175 people in Iran. And Joe Rogan and the others, the Megyn Kellys, all of the people who endorsed him and kissed his ass, they are calling now the war insane, especially Megyn Kelly. She's saying it's insane. And Joe Rogan is saying, I don't understand. He said, this is why a lot of people feel betrayed right now. That's what Joe Rogan is saying. He ran on no more wars. I think that's what Joe Rogan said. But they're all saying similar things. That he would end these stupid, senseless wars. And then we have the one that we can't even really clearly define that we did it. That's what Joe Rogan is saying about this. And then you have Lindsey Graham, who is, he's kissing Donald Trump's butt. He's attached to Donald Trump's butt like he has, like there's a fishing line in there with a hook on it and he can't get it loose. He can't get loose. And he's all over the place doing it. Doing it on Sean Hannity. I like to get a little proof. Here he is.
He proved to the world they are who they are, religious Nazis. President Trump, you tried. You know what? You're doing the right thing. God bless you for trying. God bless you for destroying this regime.
And Spain, Macron, and Great Britain, they either wake up. This is their tipping point moment too. Just like the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, you decide now. UAE, decide now. Qatar, decide now. Because I'm a little sick and tired of the constant threading of needles. They wanted the Iranians stopped as much as the Israelis did.
Absolutely.
Truth be told.
God bless Israel.
All right.
We should move all our stuff to Israel. Thank you.
Senator Graham, thank you.
God bless Israel. We should move all of our stuff to Israel. I mean, whose war is this? Whose war is this? Lindsey Graham, also on Sean Hannity, speaking of his love for Israel, saying, I am with Israel 100%. I am, he's calling it Israel. Keep going. Here it is. Roll it.
All the anti-Semites to all the isolationists, I don't believe. Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day. They're the best ally we could hope for. So we have a commander-in-chief in President Trump, who I think is Ronald Reagan plus.
Ronald Reagan is like, what? Rolling, turning in the grave. So, first of all, Israel, I think I went to high school with someone named Israel. Who is it? What is Israel? Israel. So, and what is an anti-Semitite? All the anti-Semitites, these people inventing these words. First, what's his name? Y'all are making us Southern folk look bad. Come on, Lindsey Graham and the anti-Semitites, and then Mark Wayne Mullen with that was a misspoke. Come on, subject-verb agreement, guys. What the hell is up with that? You're making the folks look bad from the South. But the folks are really pissed. And we're going to play, I hate to do it to you, but we have to play someone that you may not enjoy hearing from. And they're basically saying that Lindsey Graham needs psychiatric help. So this is tearing MAGA apart. I give to you, again, I apologize for this, but it illustrates what you need to hear to show you, as we say, MAGA may be the people who take down Donald Trump. Roll it.
I mean, we've got 7 U.S. personnel dead. We've got a girls' school, 175 young girls dead in Iran, and there's serious dispute. We'll get into who's behind that, but there's only serious dispute because the president is now saying that it wasn't us, but his own defense secretary over his shoulder is saying it's under investigation. And senators like Kennedy are saying, yeah, it looks like it was us. And the Wall Street Journal and others are reporting it was us. None of this is good, okay? And you would think at a minimum, somebody like Senator Graham would like pause and not look so bloodthirsty. How does that make the Trump administration look good when we know that he's working hand in hand with the president, that he's been one of his chief advisors, to make him look so cavalier about the death unfolding in the Middle East right now and the likely of more to come? Last night on Hannity's program, Lindsey Graham did like he was our Secretary of State or even our president. It was obscene. Who does he think he is? No one elected him as president. No one ever would. As if the American public would elect Lindsey Graham to lead this war. He thinks he's the commander-in-chief. He's starting to sound truly deluded, like someone needs a psychiatric intervention. Make agreements with other countries. Defend them.
Here we go. Okay. Let me say this. She sounds like a psychiatrist, because Megyn Kelly, you kissed his ass so much. Again, you're just like Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump has a reel with a hook on the end of it up his ass, and you're caught on that hook. Because you and Joe Rogan and Lindsey Graham and all those people endorsed him. Because knowing you couldn't stand the black woman, a qualified woman. You don't not women at all. But you couldn't stand especially a black woman who is smarter and more qualified than Donald Trump and you. So, okay, call out Lindsey Graham. I love it. I mean, I will make you the useful idiot of the day because you are calling out Lindsey Graham. So great. And so I will call you out because it's a little too late. Too little too late to be talking about other people sounding psychotic and needing a psychiatric intervention, because I think that you might need a psychiatric intervention yourself over this. These people are out of their minds, and every single way the wind blows, that's where they go. If they think it's going to help their career, if they think that they're going to get more clicks, if this is going to appeal to their racist, bigoted, misogynistic base, the poorly educated or the poorly informed, that's where they will go. And that's what they did before the election. And this fuck around and find out moment that we're in now is because of them. It's because they were so against and trying to demonize the real meaning of woke that actually was coined by black people, meaning understand your surroundings, know what's going on, know what the original sins of this country are. Know that the power structure is not working for you, it's working for themselves. The oligarchs, the rich people are all working to get richer and richer and richer, and they're co-opting and using the poor and working class and pitting poor and working class whites against minorities, because what does that do? It divides, and it's very simple. Divide and conquer. This is your fucking fault, Megyn Kelly. This is your fucking fault, Joe Rogan. This is your fucking fault, Andrew Schultz. This is all of your fault. All of the people who stood there and said, "Oh yeah, we love this guy. I could never vote for a Democrat. The transgender agenda, everything transgender, and the transgender people are getting all kinds of treatment in prison," even though it was a Donald Trump era policy that people were preaching about and against and blaming it on Kamala Harris. It was Donald Trump era. This was Donald Trump in his first administration. So uninformed. This is your fault. Now, if you want to change, if you have a 180, I will welcome you back into the fold. But realize that you fucked around and you found out, and now we're in a lawless regime where now that it's affecting you, and you're concerned about your children possibly going to war, or you may not be able to afford the price of gas, or the price of goods are going to go up, and for some of these people, that means some of your followers, your subscribers, or whatever may not be able to, afford to tune into you anymore. Now that it's going to affect you, you're all enraged and outraged, whatever. But also, don't get me wrong. Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene, all of these people like Megyn Kelly and the others, they know where the wind, put their fingers in their mouth, the wind's blowing this way, people are against MAGA, the Epstein files, something is up with that. These are children, this is about pedophilia. Why are we doing this? There's someone in there that I'm surprised the media is not talking about as much as they should be, a 13-year-old girl alleging in the Epstein files that the current president of the United States took advantage of her in a word that you know what I'm talking about, the R word. And you are making excuses for that. They know where this is going. And so now they're pivoting because it is all of a sudden popular in the MAGA movement to speak out against Donald Trump. You don't think that Megyn Kelly and all these other people see Nick Fuentes and not supporting Donald Trump and talking shit about the MAGA movement, and they see all of the shine that he's getting and all of the clicks that he's getting. They're like, oh, he's got it. So let me do the same thing. Don't fall for that bullshit. In the meantime, people are concerned about their wallets, their money, and their health care. You saw the woman who was passed out at the Trump rally in the beginning of this, but they're concerned about their health. And you don't know who to believe now. That's why you need to hear this from one of our partners. In my line of work, I've learned something. You don't always get the full story. Sometimes powerful systems decide what you see and what you don't see. That's true in politics. It's true in journalism. Trust me, I've seen it. And honestly, it can be true with Medicare too. A lot of people don't realize this, but some Medicare agents push certain Medicare Advantage plans even when they're not the best fit because they make more money doing it. People deserve the full picture, especially when it comes to their health care. And that's why I recommend Chapter. They're a Medicare advisor that compares every plan available in your area, not just a select few. So you can actually see all your options before you decide. And when people see the full picture, they often save real money, about $1,100 a year on average. One viewer even told me that they save $6,000 a year on prescriptions alone. So to speak with my trusted partner at Chapter, dial 212-931-0855 or go to askchapter.org/Don. It's free, takes about 20 minutes, and it could save you some real money. So thank you. And we want to save you money. These are tough economic times. Can you imagine gas prices going up $4 or $5? Dr. Nola Haynes is a political scientist, foreign policy advisor, and media analyst and friend of the Don Lemon Show, and someone I owe an apology to because I heard you were in the green room and I was going off on my rant. I'm sorry that I took so long to get to you. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
I'm good. It's okay. I enjoyed your rant, especially anytime you go off on Megyn Kelly, honey. I had my popcorn.
But am I wrong? They all know which way the wind is blowing, and they're all trying to capitalize on whatever is popular in the moment. And right now, the thing that gets me though is that the Democratic Party has been painted with this brush of being anti-Semitic. Yeah. When now it seems like it is the Republican Party, especially those who have platforms and microphones, who are saying, this is Israel's war, and just because we criticize it in the government doesn't mean that we're anti-Semites. They're not being painted with that brush. What gives here? Why is that?
Well, it's a great talking point. And, they're not known for nuance. It's a lot easier to just paint people with a broad brush and say that Dems and folks on the left and liberals are anti-Semitic. I take that very personally as someone who's had deep ties to the Jewish community for a very long time. I'm actually part of a Black and Jewish group. We're watching the PBS special next week. So
same thing. I've been talking about the Black Jewish Alliance for the longest time and involved in that. Mm-hmm. But there is criticism of the Israeli government and the IDF that is warranted at this point, and Absolutely. It doesn't make you anti-Semitic for voicing that or even having that conversation.
Not at all. And can I just say something that Mandy Patinkin said recently, that Netanyahu is actually making Jewish people unsafe around the world. And I agree with that, Don. He's making it worse for Jews around the world. He is not keeping them safe with these wars. Now, I am one of the folks, I understand what happened on October 7th. I get it. Everything that's happened since then, I don't.
Wow. That is if you want the simplest and best explanation, ask a Black woman. because you said everything that happened, I understand what happened before, and I understand what happened after. Everything that happened after, I don't. That is a very astute, I think, assessment and concise. And so when I was in Chicago recently covering the events that were happening on the ground as it relates to those ICE detentions, those unlawful ICE detentions, I asked, again, a Black woman walking into a restaurant, and I said, what do you think of what's happening on the street? And she looked at me and she paused for a second and she said, leave them people alone. Oh. And I was like,
I mean,
that I can go home now. Thank you very much. Not one line. Leave them people alone. That's it. That's it. That should be the mantra right there. So let's get into this. So you have the MAGA faithful with microphones. They're not into it. And then you have the people who are on the streets, sort of the average Republican. They support Donald Trump, but they're ripping some of their Trump stickers off of cars as these gas prices go up. This is not a Let me show you this, and then you can explain to me why this isn't a popular war at home. The polling. Here it is.
Do you regret your vote right now?
Well, between him and her, I thought he was the better choice, but honestly, I miss my Uncle Joe. I was a nobody, and I was balling then. Now, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even show you $5 in my pocket.
We spoke to Trump voters here in Florida who are ticked off about the fact that the gas prices in the state have gone up by an average of about 60 cents within just a week.
I would just wish he'd keep up on his campaign promise and say he was going to put it under $3. He'd end that war so fast, but here it is, 5 years later, helping his buddy out get more money, and then never mind charging us Americans all sorts of money for fuel that you just stole from Venezuela?
And those gas prices are getting higher because of volatile oil prices due to the war in Iran, a war that these Trump voters tell us they hope wraps up quickly.
If I could, speak to the president, I'd just encourage him to finish up this war and get us back to a safe world.
He's saying about for our safety, leave somebody alone, they won't bother you.
Hopefully this conflict over there will end, it's just unfortunate.
The overall vibe here at the gas pump amongst these Trump voters is they feel like the economy is not going well right now.
At the moment, I'm really out of work.
My hope is that it's temporary and it doesn't last for too long, that oil prices come back down. That's my hope.
That's a hope. But would you say that was delusion?
It's delusional because it's not just going to end with Iran. There isn't enough reporting about what's happened in Cuba. Greenland, his ambitions about Greenland and Mexico and Canada, none of those things have gone away, Don. And the way that people bend themselves in pretzels trying to make things make sense when it comes to Donald Trump, it's not going to work. It's not going to end. He is bad at governing. And guess what? Those prices that's ticking up every 2 days at the gas station, it's going to continue to tick up because Don, he has opened Pandora's box. You understand me? And it's hard to put that heifer back in the box once she's open.
Can you explain why? I've been trying to explain to people, and then we'll talk about the polling as it relates to what we just saw in that video. But the Pandora's box is that you just can't turn on and then shut off and turn back on the production of oil, right? And the displacement of people and all of those things. It's not just a flip of a switch. There are systems that have to be, attended to. It's a mess.
It is a mess, and children are dead. Children are dead. And the entire international system that was created after World War II was built to constrain a Trump. It was built to constrain a Trump. It's not doing a great job at it right now. And one of the reasons is because nobody expected the enemy to come from within. No one expected the enemy to be the president of the United States. But there has to be accountability. Children are dead. The same way the United States did not prepare for Iran to respond literally in about 2.5 seconds. And the way that they did it strategically to bomb our not just regional military assets, but civilian assets too. They were ready. The United States did not listen to Iran when it said we are ready. I told everybody last June when this was happening that Iran was no punk. And I'm not saying that because I'm not a patriot. I'm saying it because I am a patriot. They told y'all what was going to happen, but American arrogance prevented them from listening. The same American arrogance that prevents them from listening to Black women.
Yeah. Doctor, thank you so much for saying that. And then we're going to talk about the polling, something that you sent us that you definitely want to discuss. But first, I need to get another word in from our sponsors. I went a little long in the beginning. It's my fault. We're back in 2 minutes. Support comes from MSI United States. Now, I want to talk to you about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention. Around the world, 257 million women still don't have access to basic contraception. Think about that. In many places, there's no pharmacy nearby. A woman might walk hours to the closest clinic only to find out that they have run out of supplies. When contraception disappears, the consequences are predictable: unplanned pregnancies, unsafe abortions, and preventable deaths. That's why organizations like MSI Reproductive Choices are so important. MSI provides reproductive health care in 36 countries, running clinics and sending trained midwives directly into communities where there may be no doctors or pharmacies at all. Even as global funding becomes more uncertain, they're still delivering contraception and abortion care to women who need it. The private support is what keeps this work going. A gift of $39 can provide contraception for 6 women for an entire year. So to help, you text LEMON to 511-511, or you visit msiunitedstates.org. That's LEMON to 511-511, or text where text fees may apply. Support comes from Bio-Optimizers. Now listen, I want to tell you about something that I'm trying as part of my nighttime routine. I kept hearing about magnesium breakthrough from Bio-Optimizers. Friends were talking about it. People in the wellness world were all talking about it, and they all kept saying the same thing, that this one is different. Well, most magnesium supplements only have 1 or 2 forms of magnesium. Magnesium breakthrough combines 7 different forms, plus cofactors that help your body actually absorb and use it. So I decided to give it a try myself. People say they notice deeper sleep, feeling calmer, better recovery after workouts, even better digestion. But you know me, I like to try something before I recommend it. So far, so good. So I have a challenge to you. Try it with me. Track your sleep. Pay attention to how you feel. See if you wake up more rested. And here's the best part. BioOptimizers offers a 365-day money-back guarantee. That's a full year. Zero risk. So go to biooptimizers.com/Don Lemon. Use the code DON15 to get 15% off of any order.
That doesn't make much sense to me, but neither does this idea that you're going to take over a country's oil supply. Like that, we'll just take it. The problem is from the outside, like the rest of the world, you look at this unnecessary aggression by the United States government, and then you tack on whatever propaganda they have already been spitting out about America for the last 20 or 30 years, and then this war with Iran gets really ugly. Because that's how you start a World War III. You start a World War III by doing something that, other than people that wanted this forever, who else thinks that's a good idea? Who else thinks it's a good idea to just attack a country that isn't doing anything? They haven't done anything.
Okay, so listen, we're back now with Dr. Enola Haynes. So, Doctor, not popular among some of the MAGA faithful and not popular among the American people. Let's put this up. You want to talk about this. You're passionate about it. Unlike past U.S. conflicts, Iran attack is opposed by most Americans. This is public support for U.S. military intervention in the first days of the international conflicts. Now, listen, you remember how unpopular the Iraq War was, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is less popular than that. World War II, 97% of Americans, were on the side of World War II. The Afghan War in 2001, which I remember, right? 92%. Persian Gulf War in 1991. I remember that one too. 82%. Panama, remember that? 1989, 80%. The Iraq War, remember? Weapons of mass destruction. No weapons were found of mass destruction. 76%. The Korean War, 75% in 1950. Kosovo, 1999. That was a tough one, 58%. Grenada is 53%. And then Libya intervention, 47%. And right at the bottom of all of this today, 41% for the Iran war. Take it away.
Well, first of all, I'll be to be petty, but I was waiting for Joe Rogan to try his best to describe how World War III happens. He stumbled and didn't finish with that thought, but I was waiting. I was like, okay, explain this, Mr. Science. But anyway, okay. So historically,
that's why I love having you on.
Okay, so historically, as we can see, I don't have to be Professor Haynes right now. This war is not popular. No one wants it. Within a couple of days, Don, it started to impact our gas stations. It started to impact our kitchen tables. Within a few days, the Strait of Hormuz was closed the way Iran told y'all the Strait of Hormuz was going to be closed. No one wants this war. And the proof is literally in the historical pudding.
Yes, the proof is in the historical pudding. So then the question is, as you have been watching this, and you're pretty astute, he is telling different people different things. The messaging coming out of this is so all over the place. You don't know what's what. You know what I'm saying? One day this is regime change, and they're like, it's not regime change. And then somebody was after Donald Trump. The mullahs were after Donald Trump, and then we had to take them out. And then they're like, well, what about that? We don't know. We can't tell you. We can't give you that information. And then it was, oh my gosh, the final one that they got to was that they were close, imminent to a. Well, hang on, before I get to that one. They had to strike because Israel was going to strike, and then Iran was going to counterstrike, and they wanted to prevent that. Why didn't they just prevent Israel from striking? Do you know what I'm saying? So why did they have to go first? And then you can answer that in a minute. And then the last one was that there was an imminent threat for nuclear, that they were going to strike someone, and there is no intelligence that shows that Iran was going to strike Israel, nor do they have a weapon that can reach the United States. So what is it?
It's none of that and all of the above. So I know you told me a few weeks
Epstein.
ago on the Hill, Don, that foreign policy folks that we boring, but I do want to give a little bit of math to help your audience feel better at night. For those who are watching Fox News and are believing that Iran was about to attack us, there's a little bit of math that's important about distance. So first and foremost, from one of those excuses, because they're excuses, Iran does not have intercontinental ballistic missiles, Don. It's about a 8,000 mile trek here, anywhere between kilometer, there's a kilometers, and then there are the miles. So first of all, Iran does not have the capability for an ICBM missile. What we've been seeing are medium range missiles, including hypersonic missiles. Now the news about drones, that's having people scared and upset today, Don. And I just want to tell people, this FBI warning that went out today, could it be possible that drones can be released from other parts of the world and could attack us in California? That is a possibility. But in terms of drones flying all the way, all of those miles from Iran to the United States, specifically California, I don't see that happening. Now, could they release drones from other places? Maybe. But just know that Iran is not sending an intercontinental ballistic missile, y'all, to the United States. That is a lie. That is disinformation purposely to detract from the Epstein files and a lot of other things.
My question is what happens because this is definitely going to affect the midterms. But before I get to that, speaking of, we talked about what the messaging is and what the justifications are. There are none for this war. Donald Trump comes up with one every day or every hour. This is him saying that this is both an excursion and a war. As he said the other day, it is close to the end, but it's only the beginning. Okay, but here he is.
Yes, you just said it is a little excursion and you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war, and the war is going to be. For them, it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought.
Don.
Can you imagine if Joe Biden had said that? I mean, what? First of all, what was that? I mean, that was a tap dance right there.
What do they call that? The weave, not the one on his head, but what they call that, the weave that he does. Is that what that was? This sounds like a bunch of BS to me. When you have scared Americans wondering if these people can really attack us, and when you have Americans trying to figure out how they're gonna pay their bills on top of all of these expensive energy bills, that's another part. Between Trump's tariffs, between the gas, between meat being more expensive, eggs being more expensive, grapes are expensive, Don. Grapes.
Grapes are beef. Crazy. And you know America loves meat and potatoes. Come on now.
Listen. I can't buy a sirloin steak right now to save my life. And I'm not trying to be like, because I'm all bougie or whatever, but seriously, these prices are out of control. I need iron. I'm melanated. I need iron from the beef.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of, look, here is a farmer saying that his fertilizer prices are through the roof because of the situation in the Strait of Hormuz.
Fertilizer, those that need to buy are hurting pretty bad because we've had this huge jump in fertilizer prices because of this conflict. And, with only about 30% of fertilizer coming through the Strait of Hormuz, that's, if you divide that out per day, that's about 0.09% of the world's fertilizer coming through there. And even if the U.S. only uses 30% of that, which I think is probably a really high number, that's 0.03% and per day. So we've only been in conflict for nearly 12 days here, and our fertilizer costs have jumped nearly 77%, and our corn price has only gone up by 5%. So we've got some real challenges here ahead of us.
Okay, I mean, we can talk about the Strait of Hormuz. That's Juarez or whatever he said. So, but that's
he did not say Hormuz. He said something else.
Yeah, but I mean, look, this man is farming and whatever. So I will cut him some slack, right? If this was Mark Wayne Mullen, I'd have to jump all over him. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing about this, is because Donald Trump is out there. This is what I want you to keep in mind what this man is saying. And this is what Donald Trump is saying in his rally about this short-term pain for long-term gain. Here it is.
But it's doing well. The market's holding up well. I figured we'd be hit a little bit, but we were hit
This is not
probably
the market
less
one,
than
but
I thought.
is this the
and
one
we'll be back on track in a pretty
people
short
willing to
while.
sacrifice?
Prices are coming down very substantially.
I'm not sure.
Okay, there should be another one. What's the other one? I think this is from the rally, Andy. At least that's what's in the thing. But anyways, he is telling people that there is that short-term pain is okay with the constituents. And you heard that man there saying, we can't afford fertilizer right now, if they can get it.
Don, you know what? When we're talking about dead military service members and dead children, there is no cost. There is no cost that should be paid for that. We are talking about an unlawful, unnecessary war, and no one can explain why it's happening. Two things that are very clear. Donald Trump has a problem when it comes to men he admires. People are still trying to figure out what Putin has on him. And then this situation with Netanyahu. One day, Netanyahu kind of dragged us into the war. Then Trump's ego said, no, actually, I dragged him into the war. So exactly what are we talking about? And why do we have to pay a cost for Donald Trump's friends? I don't understand.
I don't think that anybody really understands what's happening in this moment. So I know that you don't have a crystal ball, but what are you looking at going forward, especially as someone who is in this, you know, foreign policy, polling, you've been around for different elections and having worked in different places. How does this play out?
Well,
I will tell you what I think. I think he's gonna. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I think that either his ego is too big, and this becomes a quagmire, and as we get closer to the election, he's going to be forced to try to pull back to gain some support from the American people. Or as who was it that said? Was it Joe Rogan or something that said Donald Trump is so old that it doesn't matter to him? I think it was Joe Rogan. And then I'll tell you the other part of how I think this is it. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wanted you to hear this. I think this will inform your answer. Here it is. Go.
He's 80. He doesn't have much to lose.
Right. Last term.
That's the scary thing about old leaders. It's like death is imminent. It's within a decade if you're lucky. That's spooky. That's spooky. Like, you're making decisions for babies and children and the future of the world, and you've only got 10 years left on Earth.
And Donald Trump has a huge ego. Or what he's going to say is very shortly, he's going to say, this war is over. We've won. We've had the regime change. We've done all that, when none of that will be true. There's no regime change. In fact, it's worse because the guy they put in place is even more hardline than his father, who they killed. And they killed the guy who they put in place. They killed his wife as well. So there's no regime change there. We've killed, meaning Americans, at least 175 school children. Mm-hmm. So where's the win? So which one do you think, and where do you see this? Those are my thoughts.
I mean, I know there are people celebrating up and down on threads, literally waiting for the day we get the news that he is no longer on this earth. However, that is not what I am kind of banking my strategy on. Short term, yes, Donald Trump will lie and say that we've achieved all of our goals because Sandman is pulling him off the stage. It's time for him to wrap it up. They are pulling him off the stage because the stock market is, wobbling all over the place, gas prices, just for those material reasons, he's going to be forced to end it, and he's going to lie about why he's ending it. Does it stop there? No. I'm pretty sure I'll be back on the show talking to you about Cuba, Don, because what's happening there, they're setting the stage for some sort of invasion to happen there. So I think two things. This is about Epstein, and I also think this is about the term elections. These are massive distractions, not just for the sake of distractions, but to be able to figure out a way to have some sort of national security emergency, not to have the election. This is something I've been talking about for a very, very long time. It's the one thing that keeps me up at night, Don. It's the one thing that we need to start thinking about and talking about a lot. People ask me all the time, do I think elections are going to happen? Maybe not, because Donald Trump is in the White House. And if that man is willing to bomb Iran and go to war in Iran and kill children to distract from the Epstein files, what y'all think he gonna do for the election? That man is trying to stay out of jail. People are forgetting how we got here. That man, along with Netanyahu, they are trying to stay out of jail, y'all. They will do anything.
Stop flirting with me, doctor. I'm married.
You know what? Let me talk to your
I'm
husband.
just saying.
You know this New Orleans.
I'm saying that because I said that, I'm joking, but as you know, because I've been saying that every day. Every time I get a Democrat on or someone, I go, no, we're confident the president cannot do this. He cannot take over an election nationally. I'm like, okay, all right, wait on it. Doctor, thank you. I appreciate you joining us today.
A whole ass war.
Right.
Because
and after a war, what else is there?
Exactly. And then in the world that we're living in of no accountability, apparently the checks and balances are not checking and balancing. This man is literally feeling like he can get away with anything because he has gotten away with everything his entire life. He is sitting in the White House on 34 felonies.
Yeah. Thank you.
Where did you do that
Thank
at?
you.
Well, apparently here.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate having you. Dr. Nola Haynes, a political scientist, foreign policy advisor, and media analyst. We are so grateful, and friend of the show. You be well.
Same, Don. Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Andy, can you just put the picture up? Don't roll it. But what we have there is Senator Jackie Rosen right there. And the reason that she's quiet and I'm quiet is because we spoke to her just moments, literally, before the show went on. Wait till you hear what she has to say about the war. And she just left a briefing not more than an hour or two ago, and she's going to update us on what she saw. But first, a word from our sponsors. This episode of the Don Lemon Show is brought to you by Graza, makers of crazy fresh olive oil. If you cook at home, you know olive oil matters, and Graza makes it simple with olive oil that's fresh, high quality, and actually affordable for everyday cooking. Their oils are never blended and made from some of the best olives in the world. You can even see the harvest date. It's right on the bottle, so you know exactly how fresh it is. They've got Sizzle, which is perfect for everyday cooking, sauteing, roasting, marinating. And then there's Drizzle. It's a bold finishing oil that's great for salads, bread, pasta, or anything you want to give a little extra flavor to. And they even make Frizzle, a high heat oil that's great for grilling, baking, or frying. I love hosting a dinner at home, and good olive oil makes a real difference in the kitchen. Graza, it's always on my counter. So head over to graza.co and use the code LEMON to get 20% off of your first order. And here's what you should do. Look for Graza Mayo the next time you're in your local grocery store. Support for the show comes from Shopify. So picture this. It's late at night and you're up scrolling through your phone when suddenly you see it, the thing that you have been looking for. You click the link, add it to your cart, maybe browse a little more, and then you go to check out, but your wallet isn't nearby. And then you see it, that Shopify, that Shop Pay button on Shopify. Your information is already saved and checkout happens with just a quick tap. That is the sound of another sale. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and about 10% of all e-commerce in the United States, from global brands to entrepreneurs just getting started. And here at home, at my show, The Don Lemon Show, we use Shopify to bring you the merch that you love. Shopify helps you build an online store with ready-to-use templates, powerful AI tools, marketing support, and help managing everything from inventory to shipping and returns. So if you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/lemon. So go to shopify.com/lemon. That's shopify.com/lemon. Senator, you attended the classified briefing on the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran. Did that make you feel better or worse about the current state of the war? Or what is your feeling about that, and what did you learn?
It actually made me angry. And I'm going to tell you for a couple reasons. It made me really angry. It was really disturbing. But what happens on a classified briefing? It means they come in and they tell you something that's classified. And when you walk out, whether you're a senator or congressperson, you can't say anything. If they said the sky is blue, I can neither say or did they say the sky is blue? I can't even say yes or no to that. I can only say how I might have felt. And so they've essentially put a gag order on Congress, 535 of us, Democrat and Republican. Now they can go out, Pete Hegseth, the president, Rubio, they're saying whatever the hell they want to say. And we can't say anything to either confirm or deny or have a conversation because they continue to give us things in the classified briefing. What I can say about how I felt about that briefing and all of the briefings that I've gotten is that they're disturbing, they're concerning. There was no, in my estimation, no justification for the initial strike. There's no justification to stay there. And there is no, I believe, they have not shown me justification for the day after or for the end game. How do we get out of this? President Trump's war has opened a Pandora's box and one of the most hot, sensitive regions in the world. Do you think Bahrain desalinization plant bombed, Aramco in Saudi? You can go country after country. These things aren't going to stop because Donald Trump thinks, I'm just going to stop the war because I'm bored in a week. Do you think that's going to change Iran's calculation? Do you think that's going to better any of the relationships either between our allies and us or what's going on even between them? He started a chain of events that he didn't even I don't think he realized. I don't think the people who work for him in his cabinet thought through, and they sure don't have a plan coming out. And so,
okay, so
yeah.
You said that it made you angry. So did they give you any did they give you any update in that briefing? Or do they seem aware that the president is trying to say that this war could end any day now?
They did give us updates. Again, I can only comment on my feelings. I can't tell you what they said because that would be a violation of what I hear in a classified briefing.
Okay.
They do this on purpose. They need to come out in the light of day and have this conversation with the American people and with all of us.
I agree with you.
Congress has no right to declare war. And First Amendment, you know something about that.
Yes, don't I? And I'm going to ask you about that in a moment. So hold that thought. But just real quickly on this, they say anything about that girls' school, which is an atrocity.
Again, I cannot say what they told us about that, but what I can tell you, we should have an independent oversight body look at what happened at the girls' school. Because this
not to cut you off, this is the New York Times saying
No,
the
I
U.S.
see it.
at fault in strike in school. Iran preliminary inquiry says. Sorry to cut you off, but they're saying every bit of the investigation that they have so far shows that the U.S. it's the U.S.'s fault. Go ahead. Sorry, Senator.
No, don't be sorry. I'm looking at this. And you can see why I'm clearly angry. But what I do want is I want an outside group. This administration has given us no confidence that they will give us a true accounting of what happened, because maybe they saw this first and who knows, maybe tomorrow they say, oh no, that wasn't what we really thought. I don't trust them to do the investigation. I want an independent investigation to get to the bottom of this and determine what happened and what do we do after this. Again, it's Pete Hegseth. He is the most irresponsible and unqualified Secretary of Defense, at least in my lifetime. And I think that he led us on a journey where, well, already 7 families will never be the same. And I can tell you that every person who goes to war and their families, there are injuries that some you see and some you don't, that stay with people for their entire lives. And of course, some who give the ultimate sacrifice. And he didn't think this through. He just likes the visual, I say this, of blowing stuff up. He likes that visual of blowing stuff up.
Yeah, well, he said that. He said the guys, they like sinking the ships. Have you seen this new Reuters reporting that the price of oil could go up to $200 a barrel? I mean, if so, I think the average right now is $3.58. It was $3.48 yesterday. So if we're going up 10 cents a day, but did you see that reporting?
I have seen it, and I can tell you again, I sent a letter. We have what they call the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. we can let loose some of that oil to try to stabilize things in the moment to see what might happen in the next week or 2 weeks. Is not a permanent solution. I don't know if Trump's going to listen, but this huge spike is in anticipation of the chaos, Trump's chaos. This is Trump's war and the chaos and confusion. I truly believe that every morning he wakes up and he says, what should we do today? And whoever was the last person to talk to him, he does that, creates some chaos and confusion. And then he's bored. He's on to the next thing. Maybe he forgets it. And he just leaves a trail of destruction behind him. And in this case, he hasn't lowered prices in anything else in this country. I have a bill, no tariffs on groceries. Everybody's got to eat. And so maybe the billionaire cabinet, they don't do their own grocery shopping, but everybody else does. Take the tariffs off groceries. Housing's not affordable. Take the tariffs off building materials. And certainly this with oil, energies already through the roof. Healthcare, people can't afford it. And now people live in paycheck to paycheck. Now you want to fill up your tank. And let's say it doubles or triples. What does that mean? You can't even go anywhere maybe except to and from work.
Yeah, you're right. Well, let's dig in a little more because you're pressing for public hearings on the U.S. war with Iran. Is that something you think the Republican chair of the Senate Armed Services Committee would ever agree to?
Yes, I do think Roger Wicker would agree to that. I can tell you himself, he is a veteran himself. He is a thoughtful person when it comes to these things. Him and Jack Reed, the chair and ranking member of Armed Services, have a good relationship. And I think both of them, veterans, understand the accountability and the responsibility, having both of them served, what it means to families, like I said, not just for the service member, but to their families and friends. And so I do think and hope that Senator Wicker will call for that. He has indicated that he's willing to. How will that play out? I'm not sure, but I do believe he's indicated his willingness. Will Pete Hegseth, they can defy us and not come. So we'll see how that all plays out, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the American people deserve transparency around this. So let's talk about the Epstein files. Yeah. There is this new Justice Department document, this report that says, it's by Reuters. They reviewed these documents and saying the Justice Department is saying a foreign hacker compromised files related to the FBI's investigation of Jeffrey Epstein 3 years ago. Are you worried that a foreign government is currently blackmailing the president or other administration officials, or that the files have been compromised in a way that we will never get to the bottom of what happened and no one will ever face any consequences for it?
It never ceases to amaze me that the Trump administration, they spend their whole life every day thinking of excuses why not to do things, like the dog ate my homework. You have Pete Hegseth, and it's a war, it's a conflict, it's an incursion. What did Mullen say? I misspoke or he had some crazy.
That was a misspoke.
That was a misspoke. That's not even a sentence. Every day when it comes to this Pam Bondi, I've got the binders on my desk. Oh no, there's no binder, there's no folder. And what about the Dow? Oh, Pam Bondi, what about the Dow? The Dow is diving on this war. So they're doing everything they can to deflect from Trump's involvement in the Epstein files and covering up for whoever is there that did horrific things to young girls and trafficked in women. And so that Pam Bondi, when the victims behind her said, we'll testify, they raised their hands. She wouldn't even turn around to look at these women who God knows what they went through. And so every single thing, all I trust in them is to come up every day with a more creative and ridiculous excuse for why we shouldn't take a look. But we're not going to stop.
You were talking about the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And I saw this story, the Washington Post first broke it. And it says that the Pentagon has now barred 2 photographers or photography agencies from taking pictures because they were upset with how the defense secretary looked in the pictures. And so they just banned them from, or barred them from, attending any more briefings. I mean, and then also, but you remember they had to sign the thing saying that they would only publish things that Pentagon had looked at and approved. So
What
this is
a
on top of that.
shallow man. We are at war. 7 bodies just came home, and he's worried that it's not his best angle. He's lucky to be alive and have an angle, because those parents who lost those sons, those kids who lost their parents, they'd be happy to have a bad picture of their parents getting older. So Pete Hegseth can go to hell doing this. How dare he say, Mike, this is not the perfect picture of me, when there are currently 7 families this weekend that won't have a new picture, flattering or unflattering, ever again of the person they love. His shallowness, his vanity, his temper, his demeanor, in every way, it shows every day how unqualified he is. And he led us into, I hope, a war that will end, but I don't have any faith in that. Oh, he opened a Pandora's box that I hope they're really angry. It's so unprofessional.
Do you have any confidence? You said you had no confidence in this administration. Do you have confidence in the First Amendment, that it will hold the freedom of the press?
Well, you know who I have confidence in? I have confidence in regular, everyday people. Look at Don, you talk to people all over the country. You've done this, your whole life. People know what's good and right. They know that you should be able to peacefully assemble, to speak your mind. No, you can't say fire in a crowded theater. We get that. But people want our comedians to tell jokes. People are going to, if they don't like what you have to say, your opinion, or the way you report, they don't read it. They don't have to watch it. But it is a wonderful thing about our country that we are allowed, without having to go to jail, to have opinions. That's a democracy. And that messiness, I always say a democracy is loud and it's noisy, and it's like a crazy Thanksgiving holiday table with everything in there. And that's the beauty of it. Authoritarian, yeah, you got one guy, I'm the boss, applesauce, says it all. You can't say anything. That's not who we are. And I have faith in regular people, the American people who you were in Minnesota, standing up in the middle of winter. How cold was it there? 50 below zero, 35 below zero, ice and snow. They came out, they spoke up, they stood up, and I have faith in everyday people to keep our country safe.
Senator Jackie Rosen, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. It was a real treat having her. What a great person she is. So can we go back? Let's start where we began and then go back to the phrase Donald Trump used. He said a little excursion. He said it's a war and an excursion, but a little excursion. Let me give you some facts here. 7 American service members are dead. Hundreds of civilians across Iran and Lebanon, they're dead. 150 or to 175 little girls in a school that should have been the safest place in the world for them, they're dead. And the global economy is rattling right now. American families are bracing for higher gas prices, higher food prices, higher heating bills. There's nothing little about any of this. And the truth is, the American people deserve honesty when their country goes to war. They deserve a president who can tell them exactly why it is happening, exactly what the objective is, and exactly how it ends. Not shrugging, not guessing, not lying, not obfuscating, not deflecting from the Epstein files, not floating conspiracy theories about who might have fired a missile that we know came from the United States. We know it came from the United States. And so that is where we end tonight. If you want to know anything about the Don Lemon Show, here's what you do. You go to donlemon.com. And at the top of donlemon.com, what you will find our dates for DL and DL Anything Goes. Purchase your tickets. We'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina on 4/3. We'll be in Cleveland, Ohio on 4/4, Boston, Massachusetts on 4/17, and Tyson, Virginia on 4/18. And then below that is everything you need to know about the show. If you want to become a member, if you want to become a subscriber, we urge you to. It is all there. If you would like to buy this shirt that everyone has been asking me about, it's on our merch store on donlemon.com as well. And don't forget, tomorrow at 3 p.m., Substack, your turn. We're going to have a ball.
Twitch.
What? Twitch. Sorry. It was Substack before. Twitch. We're going to have a ball. We're going to twitch it out. I don't know. What am I going to do? I got to figure out something to do specialer for the Twitchers, okay? So go check it out. Thank you all for your support. Thank you, Max Roy, for your super sticker, and thanks for those who gifted memberships. If you're a member, you can gift memberships, so just go to the watch button. It's right there on donlemon.com, all of it. The merch store, Substack, Twitch, all of it, okay? So thank you guys for watching. We're going to see you back here tomorrow morning. Let me tell you this. When I was in Alabama, and you guys will know, if you're in Birmingham, anywhere in the area, there is a station there, and it's called Fox 6 News. It was the ABC station for the longest time, and then I worked for Fox in the 90s, and they hired this young reporter / anchor as their weekend anchor. So I would anchor on the morning weekends, and then I would go back home and go to sleep, and then I'd come back and anchor the evening show, and then I was off on Monday and Tuesday, and then I worked Wednesday through Sunday. That was my schedule. And so there was, as an anchor, you got a little promo. And their thing was working for you, Fox 6 News. And so it would be, I'm sorry to go off here, but there would be these little interstitials that would come. You'd be watching a commercial and it would say, and that would be me like turning like this, looking at the camera or reporting. And it would say, Don Lemon, part of Alabama's 24-hour news team. And then it would go like into the show or back to another commercial. And then, but there was a theme that everybody used to sing when they saw me. And it was working for you. Do you guys remember that if you're in Birmingham, Alabama? Gotta be, because it's gotta be Fox 6 News. Tell me if you remember that. I have to find that tape. Anywho, the reason I say that is because we're working for you. 2 lives a day to keep you informed and without being inundated, because that's what we want you to do. And so until we see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for Hot Topics here on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel, turn the TV off. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.